Good evening. Thank you for coming to the Dr. George H. Slick Fellowship Recital. I would like to thank a few individuals who made tonight's event possible. First, I would like to thank Mr. Andrew Hawes. Mr. Hawes is the conductor of DCYO, where I play viola, and over the past year, he reserved Lang Concert Hall for me to practice on the piano and become comfortable with the space. Thank you, Mr. Hawes. Next, I would like to thank my piano teacher, Donna K. Jones. I began lessons with Mrs. Jones when I was 7 years old, and she has shared with me the gift of music ever since. Thank you. And finally, I would like to thank my parents and my brother Harry for their endless support.
Hello everyone. So first we both like to thank the administrators, Dr. Brown and Dr. Palmer. So please stand up. And also I'd like to thank Mrs. Rogers for helping me set up all the artwork outside and helping all the students get their artwork to us here.
We would also like to thank Mr. Pignataro, Mr. Perlberg, Mr. Shankwaller, Mr. Fisher, and the rest of the Wallingford-Swarthmore music teachers for supporting our musical interests at school. And finally, we thank Dr. George H. Slick, whose love of the arts has made this wonderful opportunity for us to share music with our community possible. Thank you, Dr. Slick.
I asked Graham and Lauren not to leave the stage for just one more moment. I have something for both of them. Just as a very small token, a memento to help you remember this evening. I have gotten each a little gift. This is for you, Lauren. This is for you, Graham. Thank Dr. Slick, and I spoke to Dr. Slick last night on the phone on my way coming to the rehearsal last night, and Dr. Slick regretted he couldn't be here this evening. He's having a little more difficult time getting around and getting around on the campus of Swarthmore College. Would have been impossible for him, but he wanted to congratulate both Lauren and you, Graham, for your preparation, your program today. So, just so you know, Dr. Slick was thinking about you. And before Graham talks about his program, I have a few things I would like to share. First of all, I want to tell you a little about Dr. Slick. The endowment was created to honor Dr. Slick, who was the superintendent of schools here in the Wallingford-Swarthmore School District from 1978 through 1996. Dr. Slick was a gifted, dedicated educator and administrator, and Dr. Slick helped all those concerned with our community to remember they should seek to do what is in the best interest of the school district's young people, and that our children are both our special responsibility and the nation's future. Although Dr. Slick was deeply interested in all aspects of school life, both curricular and extracurricular, he was particularly interested in the visual and performing arts. And the purpose of the endowment was not meant to champion one part of the school district curriculum over those other parts of our school life, but rather its purpose is to recognize the importance of the arts in a nation that aspires to greatness. Dr. Slick. At this time, I'd like to recognize and thank the following members of the Endowment Committee for their valuable time and expertise. We spent a lot of time over the years going over the applications and working with students as they prepare for their program. So if they're in the audience, I'd like you to please stand up as I call your name. Brad Hosbeck is an art teacher at Strathampton Middle School. At Strathampton High School, Kate Plows, Leslie Taylor, from the music department side, Steve Fisher and Nicholas Pignataro. From our guidance office, Kristen Dunning. And our principal, Dr. Chris Brown. And of course, my fellow co-chairs, Jennifer Rogers and John Shankwiler. to acknowledge our deep appreciation to the Wallingford-Swarthmore School District Board of School Directors, our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Lisa Palmer, and of course Dr. Brown, our Strathaven High School Principal, for their continued support and active support in our music and arts and our student lives. And I would like to also thank you, Swarthmore College, Jennifer Honig and Dessa Pulley for allowing us to share their beautiful facility for our students to perform in. Thank you very much. This year we had 8 outstanding applications from this year's freshman class of Strathaven High School for the 2021 George Slick Arts Fellowship. The quality of the applications made it very challenging for the Arts Committee to select a winner, and we would like to thank all 8 students for their talent and time that they put into their submissions. It was clearly evident to the committee that all the students put forth a lot of time, care, and effort into the applications. At this time, we would like to recognize the following students as committed artists, and as I call your names, please come forward. We have a certificate for you. Our first are our 5 commended students. Amber Chen for 2-dimensional art. If Amber's please come on down, Amber. Maria Hess for 2-dimensional art. Music. Come on down, Daniel. Naomi Fallon for 2-dimensional art. And Zeke Kai Zan for 2D art. Those are our 5 committed students. And we should have also a George Slick grant winner, and that's going to be Arohi Patil for 2-dimensional art. So Arohi, if you could come on down. We have 2 George Slick Arts Fellowship winners. They will have the next 2 years to work with a mentor to prepare a presentation that they will give in the spring of their junior year. In 2-dimensional art, Gabriel Lawson. And in music, Cecilia Olaszewski. So congratulations to our commended grant winners and fellowship winners. We look forward to the fellowship program in 2 years. Thank you so much. You guys can go have your seats. We're going to bring Graham back up. He's now going to talk a little bit about his part of our program tonight.
First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming tonight and supporting me and Lauren. I'd like to thank my grandparents, Vincent and Mary and Mayola, for being my biggest fans for as long as I can remember. My parents, who have done everything and continue to do everything they can in order to support and benefit my work. My brother, who I've played music with for my entire life and who actually introduced me to music production in the first place. My first drum teacher, Ken Vogel. He taught me almost everything I know about the drums, and without him, there's no way I would be standing here today. So Ken, please stand up. I'd like to thank Byron Landum, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. He was my second drum teacher, who taught me more about my jazz experience and taught me a lot about not technical stuff, but how to become really an artist with the drums, which was really great. I'd like to thank both Charlie and Simon Shankweiler, who contributed to the artwork tonight. You will see Simon's artwork in front of my setup out there. He has 2 sculptures and a painting, and Charlie actually is rapping on one of my songs. It was for an English project that he had to do in the fall about the Odyssey. So maybe you'll learn a little bit from that. And finally, I'd like to thank the students of the National Arts Honor Society, whose art you will see out in the lobby when we go out for my portion of the concert. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing in it. What you're about to hear is something that has never been done before at any George Slick concert in the past. So I feel like I need to explain myself before we get into it. For those of you who don't know what contemporary music production means, it's a fancy way of saying that I make beats. Most of you have always known me as a drummer, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why I'm not drumming tonight. And unfortunately, there's no easy answer to that question. For as long as I can remember, music has been something that I can't live without, and the impact that it's had on my life is unexplainable. It influences every move I make, from the way I dress to the way I think, and everything in between. If I leave my house without my headphones, my entire day is instantly ruined. If I go a day without at least trying to make something, I go to bed disappointed. And if I try to make something but I fail, I go to bed upset. My love for music is the reason why I'm not scared to pursue it. Because no matter how many times I've been told that music is just a hobby, and trust me, I've heard that a million times, I know it's the only thing that I can do with myself. So the question as to why I'm not a drummer anymore really makes no sense to me, because I was never a drummer. I've always just been a musician. I used to want to be a jazz drummer. This wasn't even a question in my mind, but I was wrong about that. For the majority of my life, I was put into this box where I had to be a drummer if I wanted to pursue music. Not that anybody was forcing me to, but everyone just expected it from me. So that's what I did, and I got really good at it. But the music that I was playing never corresponded to the music that I was listening to. During the summer going into my sophomore year, all of that changed. It was like a switch went off in my brain. I was working a lifeguarding shift, having a pretty normal day, and all of a sudden it hit me, and I knew that I couldn't just be a drummer anymore. I had this idea in my head that I was going to go home and make an album. It was going to be the best album ever made. And I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I knew it was going to be awesome though. So I went home and I made my first beat. I was really, really proud of myself for that. And I still have that beat, but needless to say, it sucks. After that, I kept trying because I needed to feel that way again. And with every single night spent making music, which was and still is every single night, I got better. I think one of the most important aspects of what I do is the fact that I don't do it for any reason other than the fact that I simply have to. I didn't make any of the music that you'll hear tonight specifically for this concert. Tonight I'm just presenting to you what I do in my free time. So I hope everyone enjoys. So without any further ado, there are refreshments outside, some great art out in the lobby. So please join me out there for my portion of tonight's program.